How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to That Effing Guy. As you can tell, once again, my camera has died on me. I filmed a quick video of this like half an hour ago. Wasn't quite happy with how it turned out, so I thought I'm going to do it again, but my camera just died. So, yeah. So, we're here to talk about Star Wars, more specifically, what happened to the sequel trilogy. So, a few weeks ago, rumours started spreading that Disney want to reset the Star Wars universe, specifically the sequel trilogy, by either revising it and changing it timeline-wise using a thing called the Veil of the Force. We'll get into that in a second. Deleting it completely from canon, and then doing a proper sequel trilogy, i.e. a whole new 7, 8 and 9, with the use of George Lucas's lost but not forgotten scripts that were not used, that obviously were spoken about with Mark Hamill back in the 70s and 80s, but obviously returning as an older Obi-Wan-esque character. So here we go. So option one was revising rather than deleting the Star Wars films, which involved a use, which involves a soft reboot aspect to the sequel trilogy, and they're going to use the Veil of the Force. So the Veil of the Force is more talked about in the animated series. It's either Star Wars Rebels or Star Wars Clone Wars. I've not seen them. I know a Star Wars fan and I haven't seen the animated series. I will watch them at some point. And basically it involves time travel. And it's also like an alternative universe, like an alternative timeline, etc. I can create another timeline. It was mentioned ever so briefly in The Rise of Skywalker, in the Emperor Palpatine's throne room in the fallen Star Destroyer. Rey went into that room of mirrors, and it shows obviously an alternative version of Rey, the evil version, the dark side of Rey, and that is the Veil of the Force, or use of the veil of the Force. So basically, the revising rather than deleting Star Wars, rather than deleting the sequel trilogy completely, was to have Luke Skywalker, either Luke Skywalker himself, or have someone else, Rey. If it's not Rey, then obviously another Jedi. Like, so basically Rey, to go back and warn Luke not to kill Ben Solo, his nephew, who obviously then became Kylo Ren. Let Ben become Kylo Ren. But obviously it'll be a kind of thing that it means that Luke Skywalker won't feel bad that he tried to kill his nephew. He won't become a hermit and suck on some alien titty for some milk. So yeah, that's option one. It's not a good scenario, let's be honest. I would not be. I mean, there's also an option that they're going to go use the Veil of the Force to kill Palpatine way before he returns in the Rise of Skywalker. If you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, spoilers, apologies. I don't mind that idea, but I just. See, I'm more of a kind of like, let's go forward rather than going backwards. I love me some prequels, but I don't agree with them going back in, pressing the restart button and like saying, what if this never happened and we've done this instead? It's basically revisiting 7, 8 and 9 and either deleting them completely, or doing whole new 7, 8 and 9s, i.e. George Lucas script, or saying, so 7, 8 and 9 happened, but we're gonna use the Veil of the Force, and Luke is now not going to feel bad, so he'll be a cool ass Jedi. You then need to refilm. You're going to reshoot the whole of episode 7, 8 and 9, The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker? No, you're not going to waste money. It's too much money. Disney like to make money, but they also like to save money. They will not go back and recut, re-edit, shoot. I know Zack Snyder with Justice League, he's going back to, edit his whole new thing, but that's different. He's got the footage there. If he needs to film some extra footage, which obviously there's still rumours that he is going to do it, and there's rumours that he's not going to do it, but like, he's doing it off his own back. He ain't getting no money for that. Whoever comes in to fix the Star Wars trilogy. They want to go on. They want some paper. I mean, they don't want to. I'm talking like an American guy. They want some paper. They want some money. They don't want to be like doing this. I mean, they've not. I mean, I know that there's supposedly a Rise of Skywalker JJ cut, like a JJ director's cut, that's supposed to be 4+ hours long. Now, I don't mind seeing that. That'd be awesome. Because like more Star Wars, no, the more the merrier. The more the merrier, as long as you're not going back to basically destroy what you've just made. Because if you'd feel bad for the actors, for like Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, etc. You feel bad for them. Adam Driver, that they basically just worked their arses off for the last 4, 5 years, 6 years, and then been told, yeah, so we're going to delete your 3 films from canon. They've not really got shit to say, because they'd just be like, all right, they can't really say it. But then to ask them to come back and reshoot 7, 8, and 9 to then be like, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Nah, it's just, that's like episode 7.5, 8.5, and 9.5. Wouldn't work. The other option is to, like I said, to delete 7, 8, and 9, The Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, and Last Jedi, from canon completely. Because a new rumour has sparked up that Mark Hamill has signed off his likeness to Disney, Lucasfilm, etc., to do a standalone Luke Skywalker film, whether that be CGI, live action, whatever. And they're going to do like either a standalone Luke Skywalker film, or a set trilogy of Luke Skywalker films that will essentially be the new 7, 8, and 9. Now, I don't mind if they'd done like a Luke Skywalker film set in between episode 6 and 7, because obviously there's 30+ years of stories that could be told. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 6.5, 6.6, and 6.7. I wouldn't mind seeing that, you know what I mean? I mean, I know The Mandalorian is obviously set 5 years after the Return of the Jedi, so that kind of talks briefly about the fall of the Empire and whatever comes next. So I wouldn't mind seeing Luke Skywalker doing a kind of... I mean, I would like to see like him within a Jedi Temple, and he has his whole new set of Jedis, and, you know, have a young guy playing Ben Solo, i.e. Finn Wolfhard playing a young Ben Solo, etc. And then, I don't know, I mean, I'd be interested to see that, but I wouldn't like delete 7, 8, and 9 and have Luke Skywalker films as like the new 7, 8, and 9. I mean... that essentially is what episode 7, 8, and 9 should have been. Like, Luke Skywalker training up the next generation of Jedi, Rey, etc., Ben Solo. But obviously, I mean, that's what George Lucas's trilogy was. It was Luke Skywalker coming back as an Obi-Wan Kenobi type character, training up the next generation of... I've not read this. I mean, I know they're books, aren't they? They're books, they're canon books, and it's like his son and daughter, him and his son and daughter with someone else, Leia's son and daughter, someone anyway. Basically, it's all the kids. It's the next gen kids. One goes evil, one goes good, etc. I think it's a girl that goes evil. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't mind that, but I just I wouldn't. Like that's what option 3 is. Option 3 is Return of George Lucas. Sorry, bringing in George Lucas to make his trilogy. Now, his trilogy does sound awesome. Like, it does sound like what episodes 7, 8, and 9 of the Disney era should have been. But as we all know, obviously, that from George Lucas talking about this years later, Disney wanted a nostalgia trip. They wanted a nostalgia trilogy. Obviously, they gave us a nostalgia trip with The Force Awakens, but never quite left that and kind of done The Last Jedi as The New Empire Strikes Back, The Rise of Skywalker as The Return of the Jedi. I love the sequel trilogy, but I know what its problems are. I know it's got problems, especially The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, more The Last Jedi, because obviously The Force Awakens left footprints for someone else to come in and respect what JJ had done and do this, and instead, you know, Snoke dies straight away, and then JJ came back in and was like, you know what, we'll just make it that Snoke's a clone of Palpatine. I like the sequel trilogy, I love it, but there's so many questions that I really want to sit and do a massive, complete, like, Rise of Skywalker review. I've still not done it. I've seen the film twice. I'm not rushing to go see it again, to watch it again, but I want to do it because I want to sit and talk about this, because it's an ongoing discussion between me, Steve, and Dan. Like, they hate that I love the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and I enjoy it more than the prequel trilogy. Obviously, the original trilogy is like God's gift to man, obviously. Mwah. But yeah, those are the options, and I don't know what option I'd go with, because I like the sequel trilogy. I've said that 13 times now in this one video. I don't mind them adapting George Lucas's scripts and maybe doing I don't know if a side thing would work. I mean, like, I guess Star Wars could go down the path of a multiverse, because obviously we're talking about multiverses with Doctor Strange and introducing it into the MCU, the Flash introducing it to, you know, DC with Flashpoint, etc. Michael Keaton's Batman. Oh, hope he returns. Oh, that's like Mark Hamill of, you know, the Batman universe. But I don't know if I would totally go back and just delete 7, 8, and 9 from canon, because after all that work and after all those what those actors have done, I wouldn't go and delete it from canon. I'd maybe do like a side road and just kind of maybe adapt it as a kind of side trilogy, or do a Luke Skywalker trilogy from, you know, from between 6 and 7, and lead up to, you know, the demise of Ben Solo and the rise of Kylo Ren. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, what do you guys want to see? What do you guys think? I mean, like, it's tough to talk about, because this video, people will be watching this and be like, this is quite a boring video, because it's quite a tough subject to talk about, because obviously you've got people who love the Disney era Star Wars, you can be people who hate the Disney era Star Wars. So people who hate it will be like, people who hate the Disney Star Wars will be like, fuck it, let's go back, start again. Then you'll have people who will be like, I love it, why would just go forward? Like me, I'm on the fence. Like, I want to go forward, do 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, side trilogies, all that stuff. Go back and do a Luke Skywalker project between 6 and 7, 6.5, you know, 0.7. But I wouldn't quite just say Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker never happened. Just, you know, boom, gone, dead. That's just poor. That's just poor. I mean, Disney like making money, but I don't think they'll want to waste money or lose money by redoing a trilogy they've already done. They've spent 6 years, you know, producing Timberlake, or spend another 6 years doing the exact same thing again. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see I would love to see Star Wars Duel of the Fate film, like Colin Trevorrow's script. Well, treatment was badass. But that then means, you know, delete episode 9 from existence, The Rise of Skywalker, which, no. Oh, it's tough. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to comment down below what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm never going to get this right. I keep letting this way, my camera's that way. Peace, guys.